Kettlebell training can seem daunting, especially when you get started as a beginner. And this is what this video is for, to help you understand the worst kettlebell mistakes and how to fix them. And if you're over 40 and you want more strength, more muscle, less fat, without going to the gym twice as fast, download my free ebook in the first link in the description. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe hier. The kettlebell is a jack of all trades and master of none. What does that mean? This means that the kettlebell is the best tool to improve our general fitness. A little bit of power, a little bit of strength, a little bit of mobility, flexibility, and endurance. And we got ourselves most bang for the buck. Unfortunately, because of the nature of how the kettlebell is built, and because of the fact that many of us come from the traditional gym background, we make some serious mistakes. And I made them too. I've overcome them, and now I want to show you what to look out for. Mistake number one is in the press with both hands. Beginners do this. They grab the kettlebell by the horns, and then they press the weight overhead. The issue is the following. If I grab the kettlebell like this, I don't have a stable base. So instead, I want to swing the bell up, insert both of my thumbs inside the window of the kettlebell, grab the kettlebell with my fingers. We call this the thumb grip. Elbows close to the body. Press the bell up and down. Let's stick with the press and check out mistake number two. Beginners flare their elbows out like this and press up. And I think this comes from the traditional dumbbell press where the elbows are far away from the body. Instead, what we want to do is elbow close to the body. Bring your wrist in a straight alignment with your elbow. And from this position, I press the bell up and keeping the arm as straight as possible. The reason why this is so hard to do is because our internal rotators are stronger than our external rotators. And in order to press up in a straight line, we have to have strong external rotators. And that's why this might take a little time until you have built enough structural integrity and strength to press up in a proper way. The next mistake happens in the swing. We have arm dominance combined with glute amnesia. Looks like this. I'm only using my arms to swing the bell up, and I'm not using my hips. Very common. How can I remedy this? By keeping the arms loose when they're at the top swing, and by pulling the arm close to my body when I'm in the back swing. And at the same time, I imagine I have fruit below my feet, and every time I hip thrust the bell up to chest level, I want to squash those fruit that are below my feet. It looks like this. And since the kettlebell swing is 80% vertical force, you don't have to keep your arms extended at the top swing, but keep them in a neutral position. Next up, crash landing the kettlebell in the clean. Also very common. This. Boom. Here's a very easy key to remember. When you clean the bell up, always make sure that the handle points up and the bell points down. And from this position, I insert my hand and keep the kettlebell close to my body. As soon as I draw a bigger circle and the bell comes up, this is where the crash landing, boom, happens. That same mistake from the clean is also transferred into the snatch. And then we have this issue. Big circle and crash landing overhead. How can we remedy this? By keeping the arm close to my body, leaning back a little bit, keeping the arm extended, opening up my palm and inserting my hand inside the window of the kettlebell as soon as possible. Let me go as slow as I can. And the same concept applies. Bell points down, handle points up, and I insert my hand inside the window of the kettlebell. And just in case if you're wondering what kind of kettlebell I'm using, it's the Pro Kettlebell by my friend Nikolai Puchlov, proudly made in the USA. There's 5 things that I love about the Pro Kettlebell. Number 1, the contoured arm pockets that fit well on the clean as well as with the snatch. This means beginners will feel right at home and professionals can get rid of their calluses on their forearms. The second thing I love is the high quality texture finish on the handle, which doesn't turn your hands into hamburger meat when you do lots of swings and ballistics in general. And this also means that you don't have to use a lot of chalk. Number 3 is the ergonomics. The Pro Kettlebell is a little bit smaller than the standard competition kettlebells, which means the weight sits closer to your center of mass. You feel it in the rack position, and you get that immediate superflow feeling when you engage into the ballistics. Number 4 is the wide hollow core base, which makes it a safe option if you do kettlebell exercises on the floor, such as a handle push-up. Number 5 is the second grip because of the wide hollow core base, which lets you do curls and presses and exercises that you can't do with other kettlebells. There are even more benefits, such as a safe option of a magnetic weight chip that you can add inside the hollow core base of your kettlebell and make it heavier. Check the link in the description to get your Pro Kettlebell right now. And don't forget to use our code Lebe to get 10% off your next purchase. The mistake I'm about to show you right now from the Goblet Squat is often a combination between lack of strength and lack of kinesthetic literacy, and then it looks a little something like this, or like this. I think it comes from the fact that most of us work on a desk all day, and many of us walk around with this slouch position. So think about these 3 cues when it comes to the Goblet Squat. Chest up, knees out, hips back. And if I do it the proper way, I feel tension throughout my whole back as well as in my legs. That's why I consider the Goblet Squat a full body exercise that can improve your posture. Kinesthetic literacy, as well as not moving in this plane of motion very often, are the 2 culprits in the mistake in the windmill. So instead of just grabbing for the floor or reaching for the floor, we have to understand that the windmill is a side hinge, a T-spine rotation to the front, a lowering of the upper body down to the floor, and as we come back up, I rotate to the left side or the right side respectively, depending on the side I'm working with. If you are not doing a Jefferson curl, you want to make sure that you understand how to push your hips back while keeping a neutral spine as your upper body is moving forward. These are crucial points that we have to understand in the deadlift. If we don't understand them, it looks like this. It's the cowering position again that's happening, similar to a goblet squat. So, hips back, straight spine, and now I don't have an upright position, but I have a neutral and straight spine. And now I stand up and I push my hips into the kettlebell. Another great cue that I have to understand, similar from the swing, I want to push my feet into the floor, squashing fruit below my feet. The last mistake is in the press. For many beginners, when the bell is overhead, it looks like this. You see the elbow is still bent. Now you can see it good. Here's what you want to do. Fully extend the elbow, arm close to body, and now lock that arm with your big back muscle inside the shoulder blade. And now I have this straight line, and that's how we press. Here's the next thing that you have to do. Clean and press that like and subscribe button. Share with a friend who's also interested in kettlebells. And if you made it this far, download my free ebook, The Kettlebell Code, in the first link in the description. Yes, kettlebells require a little bit of technique, but do not be discouraged. If you're over 40, 50, or 60, you just have to have some rudimentary basics, and then you can get the most bang for your buck and a lot of benefits when you get started with kettlebells. And I want to help you get started so that you have a shortcut to success. And this is what my ebook is for. 100% free. You'll find it in the first link in the description.